Hi guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. I'm Brian, that's Chris. This is our kitchen. And today we're gonna do a casserole. You know, it's Wednesday, we normally cook dinner, and I'm actually cooking a great big dinner. We got company coming, but one of the dishes that I'm making is a casserole. It's a portobello and penne noodle casserole, portobello mushroom. That's the oven going off. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad you found me. Hope you get something out of my channel. If you're returning, thank you. I take you guys, I don't ever take you guys for granted. And I'm glad you join me in my community, in our little neighborhood here, where we always try to be good neighbors. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, or that's an option. Subscribing is an option too, obviously. And comments are always welcome. I love comments. I respond to any comment that I get, good, bad, or indifferent. The only thing I ask is that you keep them civil. And, just think before you type. We try to be respectful here in our neighborhood. We don't want any bad comments. Sorry, I got noodles boiling. So, like I said, today we're making a portobello and penne noodle casserole that's got, this would be a good vegetarian dish. There's no meat involved in it at all. Now, I suppose if you wanted, you could add some chicken to it. That would be really good. But we want to try it for what it is. I'm trying to remember now where I got this recipe from. But if I remember, I'll tell you. So let me get you down here to the counter, and we'll go over the ingredients and talk about what we need to do. All right? Hold on. All right. So first, directions, ingredients list. Here's the recipe. If you're new to my channel, I write it down in the notebook. If we like it, we keep it in the notebook. If we don't, just tear the paper out and move on. So, things you will need a half a pound, or, if you can find an 8-ounce package of penne noodles, which are just the tubes. They look like little tubes. Here, let me see if I can pull one out for you real quick here. They look like that there. You want a half a pound, 8 ounces of those, which you get a 1 pound box is half the box. You're going to need a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil, or an oil that you like. I wouldn't go something with a heavy flavor. I'm using olive oil. So, use what you have, obviously, but vegetable oil is the most common. You're going to need about a half a pound of portobello mushrooms. Now, I've got way more than a half a pound here. I've got closer to about a pound and a half. But I want to add a little more to this dish. And which I'm not going to add that entire thing to it. There's also some mixed shiitakes and something else in there. You are going to need a 1/4 cup of flour. You're going to need a half a cup of margarine or butter. All right, I'm using butter, non-salted butter. That way I can add my own. You're going to need 1 large garlic clove, and you're going to need it minced, which I have right here. We're going to need a half a teaspoon of dried basil. And we're going to need 2.5 cups of milk. Now, right here, this is actually a lactose-free 2%. Normally we would use a whole milk, but our company is slightly lactose intolerant. So I'm trying to make this as lactose intolerant as possible. The only lactose that'll be in it is a little bit that's in this mozzarella cheese, which you will need 2 cups of. And then you will need a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I know, soy sauce, right? Really? Yes. And then the last thing you will need is 10 ounces of spinach. Now, the recipe calls for frozen spinach. I just bought fresh spinach and wilted it down. I steamed it, so that way it's already... I'm not a big fan of canned or frozen spinach. I like a fresh spinach. So, we're using that. Okay, so first thing we got to do is get our noodle. We want to set our oven to 350 degrees, 9 by 13 pan, and we're going to spray that with an olive oil, or you can grease it with butter or whatever it is that you like to make your pans non-stick with. And then we're going to boil our penne noodles to the recommended time on the box, which is about 8 to 9 minutes. But you want to make them al dente because they're going to finish cooking in the oven. We're going to finish this. We're going to put all the ingredients together, and then we're going to finish cooking it off in the oven. That way we can get the mozzarella cheese a nice golden brown on top. So as soon as these are done, we'll move on to the next step. All right, went ahead, got my noodles are boiled, drained. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add this half a cup of butter in here, turn the stove back on. So that way we don't miss out. We're gonna put that butter in there and we're going to let that butter melt. Then once our butter melts, we're going to add our mushrooms in here, and we're going to let those cook for about 1 minute. And we're just going to start the process of getting them cooked and adding that flavor into it. I don't know about you guys, but mushrooms is one of our favorite fruits, vegetables, meats, everything. You know, hands down. And it doesn't even matter what kind of mushroom. We like them all here. Now, let's say you wanted to, in reality with this, if you took if you wanted to go a true, almost vegan approach to this, I mean, they make vegan butters. You could even use a margarine because a margarine isn't, it's plant-based and oil. You could use non-dairy mozzarella with this too. All right, we got our butter going, so now we're going to stick our mushrooms in here. Like I said, I'm going to cook up the whole thing, even though I'm not going to use the whole thing. Because what I want to do is, once I cook these down, I'll take them and I'll put them in the fridge, and I'll probably use some of them for tomorrow for breakfast. I can make omelets with them. I can make, put it in dinner tomorrow night. Mushrooms go with everything. I mean, they truly do. So, and you want your mushrooms sliced. I mean, you can buy them pre-sliced, or you can buy them whole and slice them yourself. Depends on how you want to work it. But we want to get these heated up. This might take a little longer in a minute because I have so many mushrooms in here, but not much longer. Yeah. You're just looking to start to get them tender. Remember, this is going to go in the oven for 20 minutes. So in that 20 minutes, it's gonna completely cook through. And mushrooms is one of those things. I mean, I personally, you may feel different about this, can eat them raw. I mean, however, to me it doesn't matter how they, cooked, raw, boiled, blanched, sauteed, on just about anything. I mean, we really, at least in our house, really like mushrooms. All right, those are actually looking pretty good there. All right, I don't think I need that on high so much. All right, take these out, set them in a bowl. Let me get the noodles out of the sink so I can put the mushrooms in there. All right, so we got those. We got them sweating. They're covered in butter and looking good. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, I know you're looking at my shoulder, but there's our mushrooms looking beautiful. So, and if you don't know what a half a pound is for mushrooms, that would be 4 ounces. It's not a lot of mushrooms, but I really want, in this case, the mushrooms to be the star of the show. All right, we got our mushrooms out of there. The next thing we're going to do, according to the directions, is we're going to put our olive oil in there. As such, we're going to put our flour in here, our basil, our garlic, and that's it for right now. We're going to bring those together. We're going to let it cook for a minute, let that flour absorb everything and start to turn a tan color. We're basically making a little roux here, okay? This dish doesn't take long at all. This would be a good kind of like a fancy weeknight meal. So once you've gotten all the white out of the flour, so to speak, yeah, we're not looking to brown it up any more than necessary. We're going to add our milk slowly, our 2 cups of milk. And you want to stir while you're doing this, and it'll help start break up that flour. All right, we got our milk in there. Now we're gonna mix it all together. We're gonna get it all together. Make a nice little like gravy. We're gonna stir this and leave it on here until it starts to boil and thicken. Once it boils and thickens, we're going to add half of our cheese to it. So we're going to add a cup of cheese into this. All right, let me get this boiled and thickened up, and then we'll move on to the mozzarella. All right, we've got her thickened up. So now we're going to add half our mozzarella cheese to this, which is really going to thicken it up, make it stringy and gooey. And we'll put a little more in there, why not? You can never really have too much cheese. And that's my opinion at any rate. And I switched over to a whisk to get the small clumps out. Alright, now we're nice and thick, so the next thing we need to do, take it off the heat. Alright, we got it off the heat. And I still see a couple clumps in there, so we'll get those out real quick. And we're literally almost done with this. I mean, as far as the putting it together part goes, you know, it's just that easy. So the next thing we need to do is add our portobello mushrooms, which I'll put in about that much. We're going to add our soy sauce, 1/4 cup of soy sauce. That's just such a weird thing. We're going to add our noodles that we did up. I think what took the longest, I mean, if you use, where did I put my spinach? There it is. If you use frozen spinach, all you gotta do is let it thaw on the counter. So the hardest part of this so far has just been boiling noodles, really. And then we just want to mix this all together. I know it smells great. And it don't look half bad either. Yeah. I really wish I had a cameraman or the ability to zoom in, you know, so you can see this. Here, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Since I'm doing this off the heat, we'll move this around so you can come in here. Here's what we look like in the pot. I mean, that just looks divine. Really, it does. You'll see it better once we get it in the casserole dish. And you know what? We're going to live on the edge a little bit. We're going to put some more portobello mushrooms in there, along with some of the shiitakes, and I don't remember the other mushroom that's in there. The who? Oyster. Yeah, and the oyster mushrooms. If you want to know what oyster mushroom, well, that's a cooked oyster mushroom. But they're just the prettiest thing. Really. All right, we got that all stirred up. I'm really excited about this dish. And it's not even it's one of those, it's not a meat and potato dish, but man, is it going to fill you up right. Put that in our 9x13 casserole dish. Like I said, oh, does it smell amazing. You know what? I want the rest of that sauce, so we're going to get a rubber spatula. We're going to get every last bit of that out. Now, when you put your milk in there, just so you know, because I don't think I mentioned it, Once you get your milk in there, you want to make sure you are stirring it constantly, because once it starts thickening, it's going to thicken quick. Hands down. All right. And that, my friends, is 99% done. All we got left to do is put the cheese on it, put it in the oven. So we'll take the other cup of cheese we have, put that on top there. You gonna come in and say hi? Abby's standing off camera.
Hi.
Yep, you're like a rock star, lady. All right. Got the other cup of cheese on there. So now, all we have left to do is put this bad boy in the oven. We're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes. And after that, I'm probably going to cover it in foil and let it sit while I make up the chicken schnitzel and the broccoli and garlic, roasted broccoli with garlic and some crushed red pepper and olive oil. And then, but when I come back, we'll give it a try. All right, I'll see you here in just a little bit. Just thinking, this dish was really quick. And the only thing that's going to be quicker is this roasted broccoli with garlic that I'm going to do. So you're actually going to get a 2-for-1 tonight. I'm going to show you how to do this roasted garlic, because it's literally like 4 ingredients, 5 if you include the roasted broccoli, 5 if you include the broccoli. Super simple. All right, so here. So let me get you down here. Back down to the bullpen here. What I have here is about 1.5 pounds of broccoli. Now you can use fresh if you can find it. I have frozen because it's what I have available, and they had no fresh broccoli at the grocery store. So to make this, like I said, super simple. We need 3 tablespoons of olive oil, which I need to get over to the liquid side. 3 tablespoons. 2 to 3 tablespoons. I guess it would just depend on your preference and how much broccoli you're making, but I mean, this is something you could honestly make and have leftovers of, and would be fine with it. So we got our olive oil in with our broccoli, and if this is about 1.5 pounds of broccoli, about 1.5 heads, 2 heads of worth of broccoli. I've got some minced or some sliced garlic right there. See how it's sliced, and it's thin sliced. You want it very thin sliced, and that is two large garlic cloves. Now, if you've got small ones, use 3, 4. I guess it depends on how much garlic you like. We're gonna put those in there. Now our casserole is still in the oven, and then you're gonna salt and pepper to taste. And I always start right around 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper, and then I've got some crushed red pepper in there also, some birdseed. Pepper flakes, however you like to call it. We're going to put that in there. And then we're just going to mix it up. Get a spoon. And we're going to mix her up. Now, if you are using frozen broccoli, you want it thawed. Okay? So, but if you can find fresh broccoli is amazing too. But there is nothing wrong with the fruit. There is nothing wrong with frozen fruits and vegetables. Especially if you don't go through them quickly, you know, because you can portion out. Like, let's say it's just you and you want some broccoli. Well, you can get a frozen package of broccoli, pour out what you want to, the amount you want to eat, because this is something you can adjust to make for 1. You can make it for 50. You know, it's just super simple. And then what we're going to do after that's done is we're simply going to take a baking sheet. We're going to pour it on here like such. Make sure we get everything out of there. Want no bits left behind, especially that garlic. We're going to spread it out on a pan like such. And we're going to put this in the oven. I mean, that's really how quick it is. So look. In under like 15 minutes, because I do almost everything real time. And even when I do camera cuts, it's never more than a minute or 2. So I probably talk to you more than I actually spend time cooking, but that literally took 5 minutes to do. You know, so you could leave your bag of broccoli out in the morning frozen, come back that evening, boom, put your olive oil, your garlic, salt, pepper, crushed red pepper on there, stick it in the oven, done. Side dish, bam. You can have this with anything. Broccoli goes good, much like mushrooms, with anything. The portobello and penne casserole took us, what, 10 minutes to put together maybe? Now it's in the oven and it's actually done. So I'll turn the timer off on that. We'll give it a look. Yep, we are looking magnificent. So let me get this out of the oven. See, look, you get to see it all happen live. Well, recorded, but recorded live in front of no audience. But there we are. There is our, oh, it smells so good, portobello and penne casserole. So what I'm going to do now, since I got to let this cook, this needs to go up to 450 degrees. So we'll hit bake. And get that up to 450 degrees. I'm going to put that in the oven. And then I'm going to let it cook for 20 minutes. Yeah, so you're asking yourself, how am I going to keep the casserole warm while this cooks? Plus, I still have to do the schnitzel. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let that sit there for all of about 2-3 minutes, and then I'm going to put a lid on it. After I put that lid on it, and the lid is vented, it's made to be put on there while it's hot, so if you want to transport it. I'm going to wrap that in a small blanket, and I'm going to set it out in the dining room, because I just don't have room in my kitchen. For those of you who are new, you are seeing my whole kitchen. That way that stays warm while this cooks. And then once this is cooked, I'll do the exact same thing. I'll put it in a casserole dish, a small casserole dish. I'll set it off to the side in a blanket, and then I'll start my schnitzel in the oven. Now, near the end of the schnitzel cooking, the chicken schnitzel cooking, I will take both of these and I will put them back in the oven so they will get back to their full hotness, and then I can serve them all at once when the schnitzels are done. All right? I'll be back in just 1 second, and we'll try this casserole real quick. All right, guys. So dinner is sitting. My friend Dom, Ben is around the corner, who you can't see because he's hiding. There he is, right there. And here is our finished product. We've got our penne and spinach and mozzarella with the portobello mushrooms. We've got our roasted broccoli with the garlic, crushed red pepper, and olive oil, and right there is our chicken schnitzel. So I'm here to tell you, only because I've already had a bite of the noodles. It's amazing, but I'll take a bite for you anyhow. It truly is like the most amazing thing ever, and we make a great meal. I would even recommend maybe putting a little chicken in it. And like I said, great vegetarian dish, hands down. All right. Well, I'm going to go enjoy company and my family. So I think you should invite your friends over and your family and make them any of this. Would be absolutely amazing. So tomorrow we are going to do a banana cream pie with a nice vanilla wafer crust. And I think you'll love it. I really do. It'll be new to me on the crust level. And I can't tell you the last time I made a banana cream pie. So until tomorrow, I love you. I love you very much. Tell somebody else you love them, and you love them very much. Make them some dinner. It'll make you some friends. All right? I'll see you tomorrow for banana cream pie. Love you. And bye.